Hey, Pixel Geeks, grab a tea. Jack and her robots, Excel set free. Collect commands, full speed ahead. The series runs from A to Z. Oh, a robot training show. A to Z. Let's go.
Hey Excel Geeks, I'm Jack and I'm back with some 2026 training. And because I love to gamify my life, I'm working through the cases starting with each letter of the alphabet where available. Let's go. So what exactly is my process? Well, for each case, from A to Z, I will give it a go and check my score after 30 minutes and how long it takes me to do a complete solve. Then I'll go work with my robots to create a purely OA robot solve. That's when I start recording. In this video, I'll demo my OA robot solve and the commands I use before showing all the commands running together in a special insta-solve for this case only. I imagine it'll be fast when I do the insta-solve, but remember, I can't do that without hours of prep. So this is not going to work on a case that I'm just getting directly off of the platform the first time. I'll close out by selecting my next case using my random generator. And the current version of my training file with the commands is linked in the description below, so feel free to play along. Let's get started. First up, we have American Bingo. I got lucky as this case can be solved with a single solution, and on my first run I did it in 20 minutes and 7 seconds, as we can see here on the platform. This is my final list of commands used for solving this case. Some of these are only used in this case. I've marked these as case specific down here. I've also named them with the letter of the alphabet, a dash, and the name of the command. These aren't going to be useful ever again outside of this. At 45 steps, I think this will be the shortest solve of the series. I got really lucky with my randomly selected A. So I'm going to pop this to the right and let's start a solve walkthrough. 1 second. So I'm going to duplicate the previous game. I'm going to do this as an OA robot solve. American Bingo, 1 player, unlisted. We're going to make that open or just apply the solo play template. And then we're going to save settings. So here I am playing this game with myself. Join the game. And let's go. I always click get the case file twice, so I've got a copy of the case file for afterwards so I can dig through. This is the case file. In this case, we are given 2 bingo cards, some patterns used that need to be filled in order to get a bingo. And then over to the right, there's a list of patterns, how many points a round is worth, and an answer slot to put that in, given a certain draw of 75 bingos. So let's do this with just OA robot. So we're going to start off running a case-specific command to name the ranges in American Bingo. Now, if we go into our name manager, you can see I've got all the names that I need for this solve. And then I'm going to create a calculation sheet to work from. So now we're working in a calculation sheet. We're going to start by linking to the range game. So that is the full game board. As you can see, that was merged cells. So there's lots of columns with zeros and lots of rows with zeros. Time for tea. So I'm going to get rid of those by running remove blank rows and columns. This one is from Array Robot and is publicly available on top of my robots. That has created an array of what we have in the game sheet without the merged cells coming into play. Now we're going to create a data table from the array, which is one I created just for this, and that's now created a data table. It's created a green cell with answer written in, so I can find that later. Now this is a kind of pointless function that I'm using next. It's called move right. I could use the arrow, yes, but for the purposes of when I run this all together, I want to be able to run a command that will move right for me. So I'm going to get the array from 2 spaces up. So I like to keep things spaced out a bit like that. So hopefully that one will be reusable for me. And a special one from this one, I need to get range name. So that is using the third last letter element of this array to get the pattern and put it together with the word shape, so that we get shape L, shape R to match our named ranges. And we want to wrap that in a nice little indirect. That gives us the shape that we're trying to match for the current game. I don't like working with it in 2 dimensions like that, so we're going to use the 1C, reshape to 1C. That is also an Array Robot command, and that gives us a nice list to work with. So we now have our shape in 1 column. We're going to move right 1 space, and then we're going to add the bingo 1 card. So I'm actually just going to type, that is bingo 1. We need to get rid of the merged rows and columns that are all 0. So we're going to remove those, and then we're going to use the same reshape to 1 column command to make a full column. That gives us a list of all the numbers on that bingo card. Now we can keep working with this one. We only are interested in the ones that in this column are 1. So I've created a multiply array by the leftmost array. This allows me to just keep that array that I want to multiply by on the left, and I can keep working with this. That gives us only the numbers that we need. The wildcard is a value, so we're going to use if error then 0, which again is an Array Robot command. That gives us the position of all the actual numbers that we want. I'm going to copy this one to the right. This is Control-Shift-R, duplicate array to the right. Again, an Array Robot command. And with this one, I'm now going to use a new command I've created, which does an X match with the array that's 2 rows directly above it. That tells me when each of these is picked up. So you can see down here, 15 is picked up on number 1, which matches up with what we're seeing in the array. We don't want all the errors, so we're going to do another if error then 0. This gives us all of those. We're going to move this to the right again. We want to find out the last number that was pulled. So we're going to get the maximum of this array. And that is the time step, or the draw number of when the last number was pulled, is 67 for bingo card 1. I want to keep this number, but I don't want to mess it up because I've got another array that will look up in this cell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the formula. So this is the same as paste exact formula, except I'm not having to copy, go to the cell, and then paste exact formula. It just duplicates the formula to the right. There's a similar duplicate array formula to the right command as well when we're working with an array. So this has the exact same formula. When I go back using move left and change this cell, it won't change the cell to the right. So with this one, I'm now going to use my lookup left. So this does an X lookup on the value in the current cell. In this column is the lookup column, and the column 2 to the left as the return column. And that gives us 70. So that means that the number 70 was the last number drawn by player 1. Now, move right, and now we're going to repeat the entire process for bingo card 2. So link to range bingo card 2. remove blank rows and columns, make this a one column, and let's multiply it by the shape card. Get rid of the errors. And then we're going to do that. And we're going to match 2 rows up. And we're going to remove errors. And then we're going to copy it to the right, and we're going to get the max. And then we're going to duplicate formula to the right, move left, look up left. That tells us that 19 was the last number pulled out in position 68 by player 2. Move right again. And then we're going to run, and this one is very specific to this, a calculations for answer. This just does the final formula, which says if 68 is less than 67, return this number, otherwise return this number. And that gives us 70. That is the answer to the first question. To save the answer, we're just going to save answers. Well, we're just going to do answer. And that links the answer cell into that answer sheet and copies our array, which we can then go back in here, put this in, and stop solving early. So we managed to get 100% in 7 minutes and 58 seconds with an explanation of everything that we've done. Well done. I'm going to take a note of that time to be adding. Excellent, that's more than halved our time. So now we can go back here. This file is done. I'm just going to close it. I don't need to save this version. And we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to put it all together in a single run. So we're going to take A to Z training, OA robot, InstaSolve, apply the solo template, save settings, join the game. Always got to join the game before you start the game, Jack. Start the game. And then we're going to download American Bingo. That opens up number 2. This is a fresh copy. And here I'm going to put the letter A because this is the sheet that we're working from. And I'm going to run commands from sheet. This runs all the commands that I've just done in one fell swoop. And you can watch it go a lot faster than I did when I was doing that manually. Again, you're not going to do this unless you know the answer. That ran 45 commands in 13 seconds. And we can go and put this over here. Stop solving early. And we managed to do that in 38 seconds. What a win. End game. Excellent work. So those are all the steps that we've covered. They are in the file. You can grab the training file below for your own training. We have a list of the commands we've used, and I'm going to maintain a command leaderboard. Obviously, move right, which isn't really a useful command in practice, is the number 1 because navigation is key here. But you'll notice if error then 0, duplicate array to right, remove blank rows and columns. Those are all coming in at our top 3 usable, reusable commands. Thank you to OA Robot. I've got a couple that have started being useful that I created specifically for this. Multiply array by leftmost array, X match the array with 2 rows up, that sort of thing. Used that a couple of times. So that is our current command leaderboard. This is a great exercise for pushing your OA Robot skills, so feel free to give this a go. If you delete what I've put in here and here, you can start by generating your own cases. Now, let's see what's next. Please, 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 not backgammon. I cannot handle backgammon after this. Let's go. Backgammon. Yes! Oh. Okay, Bushland Adventures I can live with. Thanks for watching. Come back next time for Bushland Adventures where me and my robots brew another one.
Hey, Pixel Geeks, grab a tea. Jack and her robots excel, set free. Collect commands, full speed ahead. The series runs from A to Z. Oh, a robot training show. A to Z. Let's go.